Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Emily Carter, and as a healthcare professional focused on senior wellness, I've had the privilege of talking with so many of you about what truly makes life easier and more enjoyable as we get older. And one thing that comes up often is the topic of household chores. We've spent years keeping our homes running smoothly, but there comes a time when we can, and maybe should, rethink some of those tasks. Today, I want to talk about 10 household chores that, honestly, just aren't worth doing after 70. It's all about simplifying our lives, saving our energy for what we truly love, and being kind to ourselves. Let's take a look at these chores and see if it's time to let some of them go. Deep cleaning windows weekly. Let me tell you a story, ladies. Years ago, I was a bit obsessed with having the shiniest windows on the block. Every week, out came the ladder, the spray bottle, the rags, and I'd spend hours scrubbing and polishing. I wanted my home to sparkle inside and out, and I thought spotless windows were the key to making a good impression. But then one day, while I was teetering on that ladder, I had a little moment of truth. I was exhausted, my arms were aching, my knees were protesting. And for what? Nobody was coming to inspect my windows. Not a single neighbor had ever complimented my sparkling glass. I started to ask myself, why was I putting so much pressure on myself for something so, trivial? Now, I've found a much better way. Twice a year, I hire a professional cleaning service to do all the windows inside and out. It's worth every penny. I don't risk my safety climbing ladders, and my time is much better spent doing things I truly enjoy, like catching up with my grandkids or curling up with a good book. For the rest of the year, I just don't stress about a few fingerprints or a little dust. It's part of life, and it certainly doesn't change how comfortable and welcoming my home is. Scrubbing baseboards by hand. Oh, baseboards. If I had a nickel for every hour I've spent scrubbing baseboards in my life, I could probably fund a nice vacation. When I was younger, I thought perfectly clean baseboards were the sign of a truly well-kept home. I'd get down on my hands and knees, bucket and brush in tow, and scrub until every speck of dust and scuff mark disappeared. But you know what? Over the years, I started noticing something. Nobody ever commented on my baseboards. They'd compliment my cooking, admire my garden, even notice a pretty throw pillow. But never once did anyone say, "Wow, Emily, your baseboards are immaculate." It finally dawned on me. This was a thankless chore that just wasn't worth the strain on my knees and back. Now, I've adopted a much simpler approach. Every couple of weeks, I take a long-handled mop or a Swiffer duster and give the baseboards a quick swipe. If there's a really noticeable spot, I might tackle it with a damp cloth. But that's about it. Letting go of that obsessive scrubbing has freed up so much time and saved my body from unnecessary strain. And guess what? My home still feels warm, welcoming, and clean, just without the back-breaking work. Ironing bed sheets. Let me confess something. I used to iron my bed sheets. Religiously, I actually believed that perfectly pressed sheets were a sign of a truly well-kept home. I'd spend hours sweating over the ironing board, smoothing out every wrinkle and fold. It felt like a never-ending battle, especially with those fitted sheets that seemed determined to resist me at every turn. Then one day, a simple question popped into my head. Why was I doing this? The sheets were just going to get wrinkled again as soon as someone lay down in the bed. I wasn't running a fancy hotel, I was just trying to make my own bed. I was putting all this effort into a task that honestly, no one but me even noticed. Now, I've embraced a much, much simpler system. When the sheets come out of the dryer, I take them out immediately, give them a good shake, and put them straight onto the bed. They might not be picture perfect, but they are clean, soft, and just as comfortable. And the best part, I've gained hours of my life back, hours that I now spend doing things that truly bring me joy. Ladies, ironing bed sheets is one of those traditions we've inherited without really questioning it. But when you stop and think about it, it just doesn't make a bit of sense for our lives today. Let it go and enjoy the freedom of knowing your time is far too valuable to waste on meaningless chores. Polishing silverware regularly. Let's talk about silverware. That elegant, shiny set we've collected over the years for special occasions. I used to spend hours polishing my silverware until it gleamed like a treasure chest of antiques. Every tiny bit of tarnish felt like a blemish on my hosting reputation. But here's the thing. How often do we really use our fancy silverware these days? And when we do our guests actually notice if it's been polished? Most people are too busy enjoying the meal and the company to care whether the forks are sparkling or not. Over time, I realized that all my scrubbing and polishing was for a detail that honestly no one appreciated but me. Now, I only bring out the silver for truly rare special occasions. And even then, I use a quick cleaning polish or wipes that do the job in minutes. The rest of the time, I happily rely on my stainless steel cutlery, which stays bright and shiny without all the fuss. It's simpler, it's easier, and it lets me focus on what really matters. Enjoying the company of my loved ones, instead of wearing myself out before they even arrive. Moving furniture to vacuum, underneath every week. For years, I was convinced that every speck of dust lurking under my furniture was some kind of household catastrophe waiting to happen. Every single week, I'd summon all my strength to move heavy couches, tables, and chairs just to vacuum those hidden spaces that no one ever sees. By the time I finished, I'd be completely drained. And let's not even talk about the backaches. These days, I've learned to let go of that relentless perfectionism. Unless you're hosting a museum tour in your living room, there's really no need to keep the hidden corners of your home spotless every single week. Instead of moving furniture constantly, I now use a robotic vacuum cleaner. It's like having a little helper that glides under the furniture for me, picking up whatever it finds. If you don't have a robot vacuum, don't stress. A good deep clean every few months is more than enough. Most dust will stay put until you're ready to deal with it. And if a few dust bunnies are having a party under your sofa, let them. They're not hurting anyone. Save your strength for things that make you happy, not things that wear you out. Organizing your pantry every month. Oh, the pantry, a place of order and chaos all at once. I used to feel compelled to completely rearrange my pantry every single month, making sure every can, jar, and box was perfectly aligned, like little soldiers standing at attention. I truly thought that a meticulously organized pantry was a sign of being a great homemaker. But let me tell you, it quickly became a full-time job. Here's what I've learned over the years. As long as you generally know where the essentials are, the rest really doesn't matter that much. These days, I keep things simple. I have designated sections for the basics: grains, canned goods, snacks, and spices. And beyond that general grouping, I don't overthink it. Unless there's something expired or a spill to clean up, there's just no need to reorganize everything all the time. If you're like me and don't want to spend hours rummaging through shelves, clear bins, or baskets, it can be helpful to keep similar items together, and a once-a-year deep clean is more than enough to keep your pantry functional and tidy. Your precious time shouldn't be spent lining up soup cans, ladies. It should be spent enjoying that soup with the people you care about. Washing walls monthly. I used to scrub my walls every single month, convinced that the smallest stain or mark was a sign of, well, neglect. I'd get out the bucket, sponge, and detergent and work my way around the entire house, room by room. By the time I was done, I felt like I'd run a marathon. But let's be honest, ladies. How often do we really notice our walls, except for the occasional fingerprints or smudges that appear near light switches or doorknobs? Walls can actually look fresh and clean for months, with just a simple dusting or spot cleaning when necessary. These days, I don't make washing my walls a regular chore anymore. Instead, I just spot clean the areas that need attention, whether it's a sticky spot in the hallway or a handprint in the kitchen. If I really feel the need for a more thorough wall cleaning, I tackle it during my annual spring cleaning when the whole house gets a good once-over. Otherwise, I simply don't worry about it. The truth is, washing your walls every month is just an unnecessary way to exhaust yourself. There's absolutely no need to overdo it. Dusting the walls and ceilings on a regular basis and wiping down those high-traffic spots is plenty enough to keep your home looking clean and welcoming. Hand washing dishes every night. I have to admit something. I used to hand wash every dish. No dishwasher for me back in the day. If there were any pots and pans left from the evening meal, I'd spend a good hour scrubbing, rinsing, drying, and putting them all away. At the time, I thought this was just what you did if you wanted a nice, clean kitchen. But now, I realize it was wearing me out unnecessarily. Having a dishwasher isn't about being lazy. It's about working smarter, not harder. Now, if there's something that truly needs washing right away, I'll still do it by hand. But most nights, the dishwasher handles it all for me, while I actually get to sit down and relax, or chat with my family. When it's done, I just unload it and go about my evening. If you don't have a dishwasher, here's a little trick. Try doing a load or two of dishes per day to keep it manageable. That way, the buildup of dirty dishes won't feel so overwhelming, and your kitchen stays looking tidy. You deserve the ease and convenience, especially when it means getting more quality time for yourself instead of standing at the sink scrubbing away. Replacing light bulbs immediately when they burn out. This one used to drive me absolutely crazy. I was constantly scrambling for a stepladder, searching through drawers for spare light bulbs. The moment one burned out. Every burned out bulb felt like a household emergency. I can't stand having a dark corner in the room, I would think. I'll deal with it right now. Then one day I decided to take a step back and reevaluate. Does anyone really care if a light bulb is out for a few days? The answer, of course, is no. The world won't stop spinning because one little light in a room isn't working. Now, when a bulb goes out, I don't rush to replace it immediately. If it's in a part of the house where I don't need that much light, like a closet or a spare room, I just leave it be until it's convenient to replace. Here's a simple trick to avoid the whole light bulb anxiety. Just keep extra bulbs on hand so you don't have to scramble to find them when needed. If the bulb is in a frequently used spot, like the kitchen or living room, sure, change it out quickly. But for other places, there's no rush. Save your energy for what's truly important, ladies. Let the light bulbs wait a little. Washing rugs and throw blankets regularly. It used to be a regular thing for me. Every few weeks, I'd drag the rugs and throw blankets out for a wash, determined to ensure they stayed perfectly fresh and tidy. The idea of a less than pristine throw blanket on the couch just wasn't acceptable to me. But after years of this routine, I came to a realization. These items were meant to be lived with. First off, washing heavy rugs and throws can be a real hassle. It's a whole production to move them, give them a good shake, and wrestle them into the washing machine. Plus, all that washing and drying regularly actually causes more wear and tear in the long run. These days, I've stopped obsessing over whether my rugs and blankets are perfectly pristine. A simple shakeout and spot cleaning are often enough to keep them looking and feeling just fine. I've come to appreciate that a little wear and tear actually makes them feel more like home, more comfortable and inviting. And I don't fret about every little stain or spot. As long as they're reasonably clean and dry, they'll do their job, adding comfort and coziness to my living room. So if the rug looks a bit wrinkled or the throw blanket has some noticeable signs of use, I just let it be. It's part of creating a relaxed, lived-in atmosphere without overdoing it on the cleaning.